The Blue Blackout Spark SL microphone is advertised to be a great option for game streaming, voiceovers, podcasts, and YouTube. So in this video, we're going to take a look at this microphone, do some sound testing, even see what you get in the box, so you can form your opinion to see if this would be a good fit for you and whatever setup you're needing it for. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Shotgun Studio. As you see in front of me right here, I do have the Blue Blackout Spark SL microphone. This is the microphone I'm going to be using through most of this video, so all audio that you are hearing is coming directly from this microphone. I'm not doing any audio processing, so you get the raw sound of this mic. No matter what interface you run it through, you can tweak it to your voice specifically, but in this video, I'm going to do it without any audio processing. So this is an XLR only microphone, so you will need some sort of audio interface to run it through. I have it going through the Rodecaster Pro set on the generic condenser mic setting. It does need phantom power. This is a condenser microphone, so most condenser mics do require a phantom power, and most of your audio interfaces do have that option. I do have this mounted to a boom arm. The shock mount on this does come with a 3/8 thread adapter, so it does mount to any boom arm or microphone stand that you need it to, and that just allows it to get up out of your way. So normally if you're using some sort of dynamic microphone, it is in front of you, so you don't have that desk space. Well, with this mounted on the boom arm, it's up and out of the way, so you have all this room to do whatever you need, especially if you use this for streaming or gaming. You have your keyboard right here and it's not taking up any room. And with it being a condenser microphone, you don't have to be as close to it as you would a dynamic microphone. So let's take a look at what you actually get inside the packaging. So you'll see you do get this big blue box. Opening up the box, you do have your shock mount inside. And also inside there is this nice wooden box, and this actually houses the microphone itself. So it just slides open, remove the foam, and take out the microphone. It does not come with anything else, so you don't get any XLR cables or any accessories, just the microphone and the shock mount itself. So mounting this to a boom arm is really easy. You're going to take your shock mount and screw that onto the threads of the boom arm. And then you'll see on the bottom of the microphone are some threads that are going to thread into the bottom of the shock mount. So you're just going to stick that in there, turn it until it's nice and tight, and then you're able to plug in your XLR cable and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the technical specs of this microphone for those that are interested. I will post everything up right here on the screen, but you will see it as a condenser microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. The frequency response is 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz. The output impedance is 50 ohms. The noise level is 16.4 decibels with a dynamic range of 119.6. It does require that 48 volts of DC phantom power, and then you'll see the weight and dimensions right there as well. So you'll see on the front of the microphone right here are two switches that'll help you change the sound depending on what you need it for. The button on the left side is a 100 Hertz high pass filter that reduces rumbling or other low noises that might be coming from your desk. And on the other side here is a negative 20 decibel switch that keeps your voice crisp and clean while tuning out any background noise. So let's say you're doing a live stream gaming and something happens and you get really excited, or you need to shout at somebody for whatever reason. You just hit this switch and then you can yell as loud as you want without getting too distorted. And then you bring it back to normal. And right now you are hearing it without the high pass filter on. So let's go ahead and switch it over to that high pass filter. And we're going to do some sound testing really quick. I do have a mechanical keyboard, so a lot of gamers and streamers use this. We're going to see what the noise is from the keyboard with the high pass filter on. And now we're going to see what the noise is with the high pass filter turned off. Maybe get some mouse clicks in there too. I hope those mouse clicks didn't turn off the recording. So moving on to some sound testing of this microphone, we're going to go ahead and check the plosives that you get. I have been talking with the microphone off to the side just to help the wind kind of get away from it. So I'm going to go ahead and try talking into the microphone and then back away. So Peter Piper pitched a podcast. Peter Piper pitched a podcast. And if you do find yourself having a lot of plosives, you can get these gooseneck pop filters that'll mount to the boom arm and go over the microphone like that, and just to help with those plosive sounds. So Peter Piper pitched a podcast. Peter Piper pitched a podcast. So it does take away from some of the aesthetics of the microphone and also kind of just add something else on there. So let's see what it sounds like with the high pass filter turned on. Peter Piper pitched a podcast. Peter Piper pitched a podcast. So let me know if that made a difference. It was hard to tell in my headphones, but that is an option if you find yourself getting a lot of plosives with this mic. Go ahead and get one of those. They're like $12 online, and you just mount them to your boom arm anywhere and just have it covering the top. So let's go ahead and check the proximity testing. So I'm about a little over a fist length away, and I've been about that same distance throughout this entire video. So we're gonna go ahead and move it a little further. So now I'm about a foot and a half away from it, and I see my level dropped a little bit, but the good thing about these condenser microphones is you do have a little bit more wiggle room with these than you do a dynamic microphone. So if you get kind of further away, it still picks up your sound. So let's go ahead and move the microphone all the way to this side of the table and see how it sounds. And now we're gonna bring it back over towards me and back where I had it. As far as the sound coming from the sides of the microphone, we're gonna go ahead and turn it directly 90 degrees. So this is what it sounds like from the side of the microphone, and then this is what it sounds like coming from the back of the microphone. So it does try to reject some of the noise from the sides and the back, but it does pick up a lot more than what a dynamic microphone would. A lot of people, especially streamers, do mount it up like this, but you can also flip it around and have it like this to where it's standing straight up and down, and it's still up out of the way of your desk. It's just in a little bit of a different position. So if maybe you had a screen here and didn't want it up mounted that high, you just flip it around and can do it this way. So let me know what the handling noise is as well with the shock mount, if it does help with that at all or not. I know I've been kind of handling this quite a bit, moving that around. All right, so let's go ahead and compare this to a couple other microphones. The first one is going to be another condenser microphone just like this. I'm going to bring it in over here, and then this is the Neat Worker B, and it's really cool. So I'm going to switch over to the Neat Worker B, which you are listening to right now. So all audio is coming from this Neat Worker B. This is their original version. They have a Neat Worker B2, and they've kind of revamped it a little bit. So you'll see the original one was all B themed, which kind of made it cool because it's a different looking microphone than you normally see. You just see these black microphones, and they're all right, but this just had some personality to it. So we actually use this on our podcast just for the looks of it, and one of my co-hosts does like to move around a lot, so this way he can still move around without losing too much volume as you would with a condenser microphone. So it gives him a little bit more freedom, and it just looks cool. So this comes in at around $79. Sometimes they do go on sale. I don't know how much longer this is going to be available since they discontinued the original models, but as of right now, they still are available. I'll post a link to a video that I did on this in case you're interested in it, and it just looks cool, and there's a lot that you get, especially with the packaging and everything, for the money versus all these other microphones. So check out that video and you'll see kind of everything that you get with it and the quality. So again, this is a Neat Worker B. All right, so now we are back on the Blue Spark SL. So let me know how this sounds compared to that Neat Worker B, and if you like one better than the other, or if they sound about the same since they are both condenser mics. I do have, again, the high pass filter turned off and that negative 20 decibel off as well. So this is back to the raw sound of the Blue Spark. But what would a microphone review be without bringing in the Shure SM7B? This is a well-known microphone in the podcasting platform and even YouTube's. You see them all over the place. It's a great microphone. It just kind of looks boring. It's your standard black microphone. I like the way it sounds, but I like using some other microphones just for the aesthetics versus this is just kind of boring to me. But let's go ahead and switch over to the SM7B. All right, so now we are on the Shure SM7B. This is a dynamic microphone. So you'll see that I do have to talk a lot closer to this microphone than the condenser mics that we were using earlier, but you do get that deep, full, rich sound from these microphones, and it blocks out more of that background noise. So you don't have to worry as much about like fans going on, or maybe if you got somebody next door or even an AC unit running, it tends to block a lot of that out versus that the condenser mics might pick those up. But with the high pass filter and that negative 20 decibel option switch on the SL, it might help reduce some of that, whereas the Neat Worker B doesn't have any of those options. So this is the Shure SM7B, the dynamic microphone. Let me know how this sounds compared to the Blue Blackout Spark that we have over here. So which would you prefer if you're using it for, say, a podcast? Would you rather the sound of the dynamic microphone, or do you like this sound that's coming out of that Blue Spark or even the Neat Worker Bee? All of these are great options. The only thing with the Shure SM7B is it is a $400 microphone, so a lot more expensive than these two mics over here. You can get several of these for the same price of one of these. One thing I want to try really quick is on the Rodecaster Pro, they do have effects that you can do, and some of the microphones like the Rode Pod mic, you do have to add some extra bass to it. So I want to see what adding some extra bass would sound like with this. So it's called their Big Bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on and add a little bit of extra bass. So this is with it just turned on without me messing with the settings. Kind of about 46 is where it's set at. But if I come all the way up and kind of raise the bass, let me know if this sounds any better. Or if I drop the bass down to 0, this is what it sounds like. So we'll go back to 46 where it had it originally. So let me know how this sounds with that little bit of Big Bottom added to this microphone. Does it make it sound better or worse? And I will go ahead and turn it back off. So now that Big Bottom or extra bass is turned off in the audio processing. So this is back to the raw sound of this mic. So hopefully this video helped you out in maybe deciding if this might be the right microphone for you in your situation. Again, the good thing is with this being mounted up and away, I have all this area and I don't have a microphone blocking my way. Like if I had the Shure SM7B on this mic stand, great, but it kind of gets in the way. So if you are a streamer and need a keyboard and access to a bunch of stuff, or even for YouTube videos, if you want a microphone kind of out, not in front of your face and out of the shot a little bit, this might be the right option to go for you. Let me know what you guys think of the sound and compare to these other microphones as well. See if you preferred one over the other and which one you guys might want to go with. But if you did find this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to check out this video on the Neat Worker Bee, check it out right here. This is a great microphone for the $70 price range. We'll see you over there.